Go. What up, dude? And welcome to the Boss Up Ball Out podcast, your home for organic debate about Detroit Lions news and rumors. It's your man, Curt. Still on this Victory Monday, we recap the Lions' 2013 victory over the Arizona Cardinals. Before we get into that, please do us a quick favor. Like the video and share it with other Lions fans just like yourself. If you like the content and you keep coming back to the channel, subscribe, man. Go ahead. It's free. We're on our way to 2,000 subscribers. We're currently at 1868. Now it's time to bring in my co-host for today's show, man. Y'all see Huggy up there, man. Dude, man, he wilding on a Victory Monday, man. He be shirts off, man. It's my man, hell cool. Tell us what's going on, my dude.
Oh, happy Victory Monday, everybody.
And y'all know who it is, man. It's Mr. 60-point prediction himself. I don't know where he got that from. It's the Wolverine. Who?
I act like y'all were nervous. Coach Mike Jones is going on, Lion fans.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you how I
put up 64 points. I'm not nervous for that, man. But if you're new to the channel and you don't know how we get down here, man, we look at Detroit Lions news, headlines, and takes. If we agree, we say they are bossed up. If we disagree, we say they are balled on. And we tell you our reasons why we give our take on why we agree or disagree. No hot takes here. Just natural debate and our true thoughts and opinions about our favorite team, the Detroit Lions. All right, man. Before we get into what we're going to talk about today, the specifics of the game yesterday, I want y'all guys to give me your overall opinion of the game yesterday. All right, so I'm gonna go to someone who predicted a shootout yesterday, but it didn't happen because I'm gonna call him Mr. 64 today. Uber Lion, what was your overall assessment of the game?
The game was good because I'm gonna get into that a little bit later, but that run to pass ratio, I like that right there. Like I said, man, it was more of us controlling the game, controlling the tempo, and our defense played lights out. I mean, for as bad as people try to say the Detroit Lions defense was, our defense has outshined the offense in every game this year. So hats off to the defense. And yeah, man, I just thought it was gonna be like that because they let loose, man. I mean, I don't know if y'all noticed, but the Cardinals have the second ranked offense in the NFL. So I thought, they was gonna let loose. I thought we were gonna let loose. I thought Ben Johnson was gonna get in his bag of tricky tricks, and it was gonna be a shootout, but it wasn't. So,
all right, what you got, Ella?
Now,
overall thoughts on the game, man. Before we don't get into any specifics, right?
I got you. They did. Your boy, he did get into his bag of tricky tricks. Some of them I didn't necessarily like, but yeah, everything you said, Coach Mike, and everything you probably gonna say, my dog Curt. But yeah, good game. Stuff to clean up. Still early third game of the year. Dan Campbell said it himself. He doesn't think that things will be humming or working properly until after the bat, or could be after the bat. So maybe that's where we'll get back to thinking that this is a team that we'll see. Maybe this is what we're gonna see from here on out. Maybe the offense, maybe they have not figured it out, but have a way to slow it down some. And a lot of people you keep hearing about the too high safeties and all of that kind of stuff. Even though they didn't face a lot of that yesterday, but yeah, man, I'm very a win, number one, so that's excellent, and a nice complete team effort, offense, defense, and special team.
Right. Special teams, man. We play a field position, man. Jack Fox is a weapon, man. Jack Fox played a great game yesterday. One thing I did notice, and I was looking at looking at rush around with our stats for the Lions for this season, rather, and the Lions have a top 5 rush offense and a top 10, which is number 6, run defense. So you look at that, man. That's just nasty physical football. I love the way the game went. Like, I wasn't in love with the second half, but if you're not giving up, if you're not scoring points and you're ahead, and you're not giving up points, well, you don't have to score points if you're not giving up points. But mind you, man, I just love the tough physical nature of the game yesterday. And shout out to the One Pride yesterday, man, because you can hear him all over the telecast. Let's go Lions chants, man. It was a great atmosphere out there in the desert, man. The Lions fans took over that stadium like we've been doing for the last couple years. So It is what it is, man. But hey, just a great, just to welcome everybody into Victory Monday, man. We just wanted to go ahead and give our thoughts, overall performance of the game, man. So here's our topics for the day. Of course, we got the offense versus the Arizona Cardinals, that defense, man. And I give my fouled out players of the game. So first up, my man, Coach Jones. We're gonna talk about this offense, man. So what you got, man, on the offensive side of the ball?
Well, first off, man, hats off to Ben Johnson. Okay, because he limited Jared Goff to 23 passes. I know it's not going to be an every game thing. I know some games you might have to throw 30, might even have to throw 32, 33. But he had 39 rushing attempts between Gibbs and Montgomery. And then you had 23 passes from Goff. So that right there is the split that we need to be successful. Now I don't count the 3 scrambles that Goff had and the one in the round J-Mo had. Like those are kind of like off script plays. But that 23 to 39 split right there, that is a recipe for success. And as long as we don't stray way far away from it like we did last game, throwing the ball 55 times for like a 68% air out attack, man, we will control games and we will win ball games. I think the Sun guy, he got his touchdown, and he got in the end zone, man. But that hook and ladder play, that was something different. They actually, Amon-Ra said they only worked on that like 2 or 3 times in practice. And they did it in the game. Like Ben Johnson, Ben Johnson tried to be special and creative. Let's do that right there, and it worked, man. And I just like the overall game plan. Offensive line established dominance. Goff limited his mistakes, although he did throw that one pick. And I'm like, Goff, dang, that's why we run the ball. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, man, it was good. He spread it around. Besides Amon-Ra with his 7 targets, I don't think nobody else had more than 4 targets. Brock Wright had the second most. He had 4 receptions. So everybody else had 2, 3, and 1. So it was spread around, and we did what we were supposed to do, man. And we went on the road and we beat a good Arizona Cardinal team.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely agree with that, man. You definitely get a bossed up on that take from me, man. Looking at this offensive side of the ball, it was just a good overall performance. The Lions returned to form as a team that plays tough and physical brand of football, running the ball behind that good offensive line. That was a sight for sore eyes. And it set up Goff for that play action. That's what I said, man. That was my keys to the game, play action. And Goff started out hot, man. He was 14 for 14 and that was all in the first half with that touchdown. 2 touchdowns, excuse me, because the hook and ladder kind of as a touchdown for Goff, even because he threw it first to St. Brown, and then St. Brown pitched it to Jahmyr Gibbs, and Jahmyr Gibbs had 0 receptions for 20 yards and a touchdown.
Right.
Yeah. But here's my performance that people really didn't. It was so quiet, but it was so great that you didn't notice it. Frank Ragnow. Great bounce back performance. He didn't have a great game last game. That dude earned a 99.9 from PFF yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet Christmas. That's a good performance right there from your center. You can't, from a guy who's he's one of the best in the league. He didn't have a great game last week, but to earn a 99.9, come on, man. That's what's up. And then my only complaint was that, and I talked about it a little bit, we didn't score any points in the second half, man. Was it necessary? No, but the way our defense was playing, the way our special teams were playing. But I'd like to see a little more points, man. My thing is, I mean, we'll talk about that later. I got a little something on that later on, but yeah. But the overall, man, the offense, man, was humming in that first half, man, and kind of just settled in. And it wasn't just all the Lions' fault, man. The Cardinals was playing good defense in that second half, man. Buda Baker. I mean, we didn't face too high safety yesterday because Buda Baker was in the box all the damn time.
Right.
I mean, that dude, man, he is that dude. But yeah, it was an overall as far as that first half, and then our defense carries us the rest of the way. So if you do enough to win to get ahead, and your defense can carry you, is there really a complaint? Not really. But what you got, LL?
Right. Not quite that, but everybody knows the sound clip of Dan Campbell saying, drag them out to a deep abyss and drown them. That's kind of how it was. We just had them out there, and then they, couldn't tread water no more. They just began to sink and sink and sink. But yeah, offensively, a much better game. Y'all was all up in arms or in throws, or I don't know, I'm using all the wrong terms, but y'all was real happy that Jared Goff was looking good, and then he started to not look so good. But I'm glad that we ended up winning the game. I'm glad that he did look better. I'm glad there was a better offensive game. It just looked good, man. We ran that mug a whole lot. I loved it. Dave Montgomery got to look like Cisco out there, running on top of the things out there. But with that nice run. But Dave Montgomery over 100 yards rushing. Jahmyr Gibbs close to 100 yards rushing, over 100 total yards though for the young man. I like it, man. I like it. Yeah. You guys both have mentioned it's going to kind of vary, week by week, of course. I like this week's game plan. I like the outcome.
Yeah, one thing I got to add on to that, man, is one thing that I hope the Lions improve, and that's kind of on Ben Johnson and kind of Dan Campbell getting together, is when Montgomery come out and score, put him in the next damn drive.
Mm-hmm.
Like, put Jahmyr Gibbs out in the slot, or put him out in the outside in the passing game, and then let him work like that. Don't take Monty out, man. If he got the high hand like he did in that first drive, run it back. Run it back. That's all I got to add to that.
Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, and that run where they just carried them to their first down was ridiculous. I like it. And they picked him up and carried him like, okay, but hey, it was like he was coming off the field after they won the game. They just carried him to a first down. But hey, like the video, share the video, and comment on the video, man. All these things help us with that YouTube algorithm, which has changed again. But we're gonna get this content to more Detroit Lions fans, just like yourself. All right, now it's time to talk about the defensive side of the ball, my man. And of course, Cool Torrance, man. Holla at the people. What you talk about that defense, man? How the defense set up?
Yeah, man, another decent defensive effort. We didn't waste this one. Held these guys to 277 total yards, 200 passing yards, 77 rushing yards, and 45 of that 77 was from Kyler Murray. So I guess that beast, that the one that we were all concerned about, James Conner, we were able to hold him down, man. I hope y'all watched that show on Saturday. But I put it in my notes, and I'm gonna show you. I was trying to, when Curt was on earlier, I tried to see if y'all could see my notes. I put on there to put in my notes to tell y'all that Coach Mike was scared of James Conner. I'm glad that we can look like that against him, because I didn't know what was about to happen, man. I didn't know if James Conner was just gonna turn into a whole other player that he's never been in his entire career, and do whatever Coach Mike thought he was about to do. But I just say I let the pick, of course. But great defensive effort, man. Hutch ended up getting in on the sack. He's up to 6.5 on the year. Kirby Joseph with another pick, my dog, up to 2 on the year. That was Kyler's first pick all year. I believe the pressure started to affect Kyler. We had to, had him out there running around trying to make things happen. And luckily for us, it did not happen. We mentioned it, and this is part of the special teams, I guess, but Jack Fox, man, in the second half, of course, and in the fourth quarter, he had 2 punts to pin him inside the 10. And that one, he had him pin him at the 2. So that was a big old punt, man. Great effort from Jack Fox. One thing I mentioned it previously about, or in other shows about Terry Arnold and the penalties, man. I don't like. I know what they're doing. I mean, I think we all do. It's like hey, You just go over there and I'm gonna throw it to you, and we gonna wait for the call type deal. That's what I think. That's exactly what they did. They went over there. He jumped into Terrion Arnold, and they threw the flag. So I don't think that's fair to my man Sub-Zero. But I do think that he is. I do like the what's the word? Resiliency, I guess. What they say for cornerbacks and quarterbacks is you got to have a short memory. You can't let the last play be, stay on your mind too long. Hopefully, one. I know this is just his third NFL game, so let me say that part number one. But number two, it's another young corner. They kind of struggled, and now he's looking a whole lot better. And they allowed him to do that. And that's Derek Stingley Jr. If y'all are familiar. So not to say that we gotta let's wait and see because it's way too early. But just just a name out there. Derek Stingley, he out there. He looked real good. So I think that Terry Arnold will be just fine. What do you guys think?
Yeah, for me, looking at that defensive side of the ball, man, despite the penalties you talked about, man, that they played outstanding. That secondary finally looked apart versus the Cardinals, man. Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch were all over the place, man, making tackles, breaking up passes, man. And they cut. Kyler Murray had that perfect passer rating last week. Guess what? They cut that Jones in half this week, 76.5. And we talked about those defensive pass interference, a couple of ticky-tack ones on Terrion Arnold and Carlton Davis, because when they called the one on Carlton Davis, doggone Marvin Harrison was hugging him. Like, wait a minute. Come on now. But you know what they did? They put those things in the back of their memory. They said, screw that, let's go. And those guys played tough down the rest of the stretch of the game, man. You had Turner on with a nice pass breakup. Carlton Davis with some nice plays, man. They were cutting. They weren't allowing yak. That's the one thing I liked about the defensive backs yesterday. They weren't allowing yak. The Cardinals were catching the ball and going to the ground. They were tackling sound, and that was what we needed from those guys in the secondary. And that run defense was stout, even though we had backup linebackers. You think about all the guys that we no Anzalone and no Derek Barnes yesterday. No Barnes. And I will say this, my man Hutch had his sack, and they had a lot of pressures on him. But man, I gotta give it to the Cardinals offensive line, man, because they were playing back up to the damn backups, and Hutch wasn't really good. He couldn't get home. I mean, they were chipping and blocking and a whole bunch of stuff on him, but they were holding too.
Oh man, the whole night. One thing I meant to mention is that Hutch's sack came from the left side, so it was much talked about that he'd be facing the backup on the right side, and he ended up going out, of course. But no, he got his sack from the left side
with the spin move.
With the spin move, Coach Mike, you called it. I think one of y'all. I don't remember. I think it was Coach Mike. One of y'all called it.
Yeah, the spin move. All right, what you got, Coach Jones, on this defense?
Yeah, you know what, man, that Terrion Arnold, man, that's just something he's going to clean up in the bye week, because all he had to do basically was get his head turned around. And, and I think they wouldn't have called it because he was in good defensive position. It wasn't anything that he did that was outrageous about that play. He just didn't get his head turned around. Yeah, man, I mean, that was a good defensive effort, man. Hutch got home. He hit home, so he's still the man. And shout out to those linebackers, man. Those backups, man. Rodrigo was out there getting a lot of tick for Anzalone to start out with, and then when Barnes went down, Reeves Maben came in, and they played like pros. Like I'm just like happy that the Lions look at their roster as not only the 53 man, but also the practice squad. And they're looking like they got a whole script, and they can basically sub in guys wherever they want to, man. And it's a good plan, man. It's a good thing going. And yeah, man, that D line is a lot of shout out too, man, because they contained Kyler Murray. Of course, he did get outside a few times and got a few rushes, but for the most part, they contained him. So it was a good defensive effort from the Lions, man.
Yeah, man, we lost some people yesterday, man. You had Derek Barnes go down, then you had Aleem McNeil go down. So it was like, man, who was all these people? Laporta went down for a minute, and I'm like, come on, man. Arnold went down for a little bit, and I was like, yeah, man. But they rallied the troops, and they did the thing that they do, man. Shout out to AG and his defense, man. They played a great game yesterday, man. That was probably the most impressive defensive performance we had in a while, especially in that secondary, man. That secondary play. that was a glimpse of what we want from that secondary, what we thought we was going to get, where you got guys playing great man coverage, you know, Meek Robinson and Carlton Davis, and you get Arnold out there, because that pass breakup, man, they just like, we're just gonna throw it to Marvin Harrison Jr. anyway, and
right.
Triana said, nope, not today, and then that forced throw and the interception, and Kirby Joseph was like, I know this dude didn't throw the ball.
Right.
He just, like, do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? Man, you better ask him about it. You better call Aaron Ronald and Aaron Rodgers on his ass, man. Because that would him look like Laura McDonald out that day when he throwing them picks to him. But anyway, man, like the video, share the video, and comment on the video, man. All these things help us with that YouTube algorithm and get this content to more Detroit Lions fans like yourself. All right, last segment of the day. Our bossed up, balled on, and balled out players of the game. All right, so on offense, man, bossed up, balled out. David Montgomery set the tone for the game from the opening drive on. He was the man for the Lions. 105 rushing yards, 23 carries, a touchdown, and he had another 17 yards receiving on 3 catches. It was just his game, man. I mean, he was the hot hand for that whole game as far as in the run game. I mean, I like Jahmyr Gibbs. He had a couple nice runs, but like you said, Coach Jones, man, when you got the hot hand, you got to feed him. And right now, Demo is the hot hand right now. And this is the first time they had in NFL history where you had 2 running backs go for 70 more, yards from scrimmage in a game, like combined. Both of them have 70. Yeah, for Gibbs and Montgomery. That's a great 1-2 punch, man. But the 1-2 punch I want to talk about was on defense. Kirby Joseph had the interception and in the end zone, and then with 2 passes defended. And Brian Branch led the team with 9 tackles, 2 pass breakups, and a tackle for loss. That is the best. That was, I believe, I'm calling it right now. As far as on Sunday, that was the best safety combination in the NFC, at least the NFC last week, and for week 3. I mean, and LL, you talked about the fast break. You know, you talk about the fast break offense, man. They made the Cardinals fast break offense look like a Shaq free throw contest because they slowed that thing down
all the way down.
All right, so my balled on player of the game. What ain't it a player? It's Ben Johnson, man. He's still, and here's the thing, he still hasn't fixed those third quarter woes yet as a play.
Third quarter, as they call it.
Yep. So we need those points to win the game. We didn't need them on this week, but that ain't even gonna be like that every week. So you need to figure out your third quarter adjustments, Ben Johnson. But we didn't need it. It would have been nice to blow out the Cardinals in their home stadium. I mean, we did. It was. I mean, to be honest with you, it really wasn't the Cardinals' home fan base because you saw all that Honolulu blue in that doggone stadium. You know, we were drowning them jokers out. But that's my bossed up, balled out, and balled on players of the game, man. Anybody? Did I miss anybody? Do you guys think?
Jack Fox.
Jack Fox? He would be an honorable mention. Jack Fox is an honorable mention.
I think he should be a mention because he
is, man, because he flipped the field a lot, and he allowed our defense to kind of pin their ears back because you made them one dimensional by making sure they had to throw the ball or making sure they had to run the ball down in there in that goal line area in that deep green zone for the defense. So yeah, and
another, I guess we could say mention maybe. My dog Levi, man. I like to, I wish him well, but on Hutch's sack, it looked like they was paying a whole lot of attention to him, and that's why he was able to, kind of shake loose and get that. So, shout out to Levi as well, honorable mention.
Another guy who went down and came back in because he went down the second play of the game, like the second snap of the game, and came back in. As far as on the defense, and then Skip went out. Came back, man. Yeah. Shout out, and the Lions gave the game ball to the guy who was like the health coach or whatever it is. Like that's who got the game ball, who spent the last 15 years in Arizona. So hey, shout out to him for that, man. Yeah, he needed that game because he brought a lot of people back in off the bench. So hey, like the video, share the video, and comment on the video. All these things help us with that YouTube algorithm and get this content to more Lions fans just like yourself. Hey, Let us know in the comments, man, what you think about the Lions' performance yesterday, man. Drop us a note in the comments, man, and we will definitely respond to you. But now it's time for parting shots on this Victory Monday. Thank you for starting your work week off with us right here at the Boss Up Ball Out podcast. My man, Coach Jones, you up first, man. What you got to say to the people?
Hey, I'm coming off the trifecta this week. Northwest, we won a very, very close game, 24-20. We upset Coldwater. Then we come back to Ann Arbor and the Michigan Wolverines out there off the back of Alex Orgy. You know, even though he didn't play all of that role, I'm just saying, I just want that guy start since the spring. Alex Orgy started, and we got the dub against a top 15 team in the country. And then we come back on Sunday, and the Lions are doing their thing, man, and they pulled out the victory. I got the trifecta this week, so I'm all good. Let me head to work on my high note.
Yeah, I had to give it to him. He did call it on the prediction show. He said that he called it trifecta. He did call it and that. And I don't say it was on the back of Alex Orgy. It was on the
right.
It was on the back. It was on the back of the running backs.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. What you got, LL?
You know, shout out to that fast break offense, man. I'm just so glad that our defense was able to, you know, put some speed bumps out there to just slow that thing down. Because, man, there was such a concern that, you know, James Conner and these guys are just going to run away from us, man. I'm so glad that we were able to, you know, just keep that thing under control, man. I was getting so worried. Coach Mike, I know you know what you're talking about, man. You had me shook there for a while. Psych, of course. But yeah, happy Victory Monday, man. Go to work, talk all the junk that you can, and if they're allowed to not wear a shirt, don't wear no shirt.
Yeah, for me, man. Thank you guys for checking us out right here on this Victory Monday, man. Glad you start your week off with us right here at the Boss Up Ball Out podcast, man. Great victory for the Lions yesterday. Good victory for the Jackson Northwest Mounties on Friday night, and then of course the Wolverines, man, gave USC that welcome to the Big Ten moment. And you know what I'm saying, just go ahead and get on out of here, man. So you know, Khalil Maher, man, did his thing. And then you had the Don do his thing, man, for a touchdown. You just got to get Alex Orgy to know how to throw the damn ball. But anyway, man, hey, have a good day at work. I know you're getting started, your day started right. We're here with us. But if you having a good day, because you should, it's Victory Monday, spread that joy to whoever you can. If you're not having a good day, don't steal no one else's joy, man. And you got to do your man Curt Steele a quick favor. Whatever you're doing in life, you got to boss up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. For LL and Coach Mike Jones, this is Curt Steele, and we will holla at you real soon.